Hi, everyone. I hope this event finds you all safe and well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. My name is Maria Hernandez. I am part of the developer relation team at RAK. And here with me, Jose, our
Hey
solution
everyone.
architect. Welcome. For those who are joining for the first time, Hands with RAKStars is a place to give a voice to all of those passionate IoT developers who are building cool things with RAK products. And the idea is to share projects, cool projects, tips and tricks, hacks, and many RAKstar experience. We have a last minute change today in today's session. If you are waiting to talk about the electric vehicle on rail, this is not going to be the session, but we have an amazing new guest with a lot of experience in the IoT ecosystem and communities. He is Marc Pous, a famous IoT giant. Welcome, Mark.
Welcome. Thank you for inviting me. Last minute, but yeah, welcome.
No,
Thank you.
thank you to you to accept our last minute invitation. By the way,
No worries.
also he is developer advocate at Balena and co-organizer of IoT Stars. He is going to be sharing a little bit about these things in minutes. So yeah, this session is going to be kind of different from the other sessions. Normally, well, the first session where we had more like a presentation session. Then we have an interview session, but this session is special because we are going to build a demo together to show you how to deploy a fleet of LoRa gateways globally. So it's going to be
Yeah.
pretty interesting because everyone who is connected will learn how to go straight forward and deploy a LoRa fleet gateway the what without matter depending where you are. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
I didn't want to bring slides, so that's better to do like a
yeah,
rock star, no? With like direct.
on the go, on the go. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
On the go.
So yeah, also we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the session. So feel free to ask any questions for those who are connected. We'll be happy to answer those at the end of the session. So yeah, just let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, as sort of all the things that you have been doing in the IoT world and how you get into this world of electronic as well as IoT.
Well, I'm computer engineer. I'm not a lot of. I'm not an expert on electronics, to be
Okay.
honest. I'm learning by doing or burning stuff. But I'm a computer engineer here from Barcelona in Europe, and I have been working on IoT projects since 2005. Then I was connecting some wheelchairs that were driving autonomously on hospitals. So I was programming all the artificial intelligence system that was managing the fleet of wheelchairs running around the hospital. Something that can be done today, no, but in 2005 it was pretty complex to do because there were no even mobile phones. iPhone was presented in 2007. So from there, yeah, I moved to Germany, and then I started to play with Arduinos about 2010 or so. And then that opened me like all kind of IoT more love. And then I decided to create because I was living in Munich, to create the Munich community, the IoT Munich community. And then I as well joined into the IoT Barcelona community. And this is how I started as well to get into the developer communities. And then at that time with Arduino, I decided that I wanted to help companies to connect things to the internet. So I created my own startup called theThingsIO. Since this year 2020 that I joined Balena as developer advocate, so helping the Balena team to bring this massive product into the developer community, so we can get like feedback from developers.
Super interesting. And you mentioned that you create that this startup, the theThingsIO. You can tell us a little bit more about how the company started?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I had an idea of initially. Actually, the idea was about. It was very futuristic, actually. So it was a moment where a lot of companies or startups were releasing devices connected to the internet, like Nest was released at that moment. the Nike Plus, Fitbit, and so on. So I was thinking like, wow, I would love to have an interface where all the devices could be interconnected, and even if they are connected with different protocols or ways, yeah, there is like an API that glues all of these devices and systems, and from one unique interface you can interact with all of them. So it started with this idea, theThingsIO, but actually I used to call it like the social network of the Internet of Things. At that moment, that was 2012, I think, and then some companies, some startups were contacting me like, hey, yeah, that's really cool, because I was presenting the product. I had an MVP, but some companies were like, this is very cool, but can we store data from our devices, from our customers to your system? So then we pivot into like an IoT platform to store data from the devices and helping these companies to release faster the products into the market. And this is how we shift from the social network into an IoT platform. I still haven't seen social network of IoT like very well executed today. I don't think it's there are still too many devices now to have it. I don't know if you have seen something similar.
Social network, right?
That's a kind of freak name, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's an idea there.
Then actually in 2015, I met Balena for the first time. So I started. So we were starting researching about how to help one of our customers to change the application running on their devices easily. And this is how we started to use. At that time, it was called Resin. This is how I started to use Resin and meet the Resin team. And then a couple of years ago, they changed the name to Balena. But yeah, this is how I met Balena in 2000, like 5 years ago already.
And you knew in that moment that you were going to work with Balena at this time? I don't think so.
No, at that time, actually, in 2015, we were too young. Well, actually, Balena, it's from 2010 or 2011, I guess. But we were two startups that we just raised funds at this more or less at the same time. They were raising funds. They raised funds in the US, so more money than us. But we were like on TechCrunch and this kind of a startup circus, like IoT startups getting funded. So that was interesting that we were more or less parallel at the same time. But yeah, it's cool that it was one of the startups that I was following all the time, and it's really cool what they do. And Balena, so just focus on something, and all of these years now doing these as better as possible, to reduce the friction. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is a thing. Like for IoT startups, like when they start at the beginning, you are like trying to find which is the niche that you need to target. And for example, let's say if you build an IoT platform, you think that okay, we have the platform, but we have to give to the users the tool to develop as well their solutions. So it's like sometimes you start saying like, okay, we have to deploy our own hardware solution as well in order to interconnect easy the users to our services, which is a platform. But the thing is that if we are good doing one thing, which is the platform, while we have to be like trying to target other things that we are the expert on that, so we leave that spot to the expert for, like in this case can be RAK, for example, as well, Balena in the way to deploy your solution. So
yeah, actually, this is something that I always avoid to do hardware on the things, because we were very good on cloud distributed systems, but not on hardware. So yeah, this is why we never made hardware. But it's interesting as well, the story of Balena, how it started. Well, actually, Resin. I don't know if you remember, for the Olympics, there were some in London in the financial district. There are some like trashes with TVs. I don't know if you have seen that. And actually, well, so the garbages in the city center, they have a TV, and there are like ads or weather, like it's a digital signage tool. And actually, the initial moment of Balena was So the Balena team got this project where they had to manage the digital signage system for these TVs in London. And so they needed to go one by one to all the TVs with a USB stick, installing the operating system, introducing the new content for the TV, and that was super painful. It was like they had to walk every day 20 kilometers. So they were doing this the minimum path problem. They solve it in London. Like, what's the minimum path to go through all the TVs on the financial district in London? So quickly they saw that maybe the project that they needed to do, it's not digital signage, but like the system that helps to solve this pain, that to automatically manage the software that it's running on devices and deploy in a really easy way this software running on devices. So this is how, by pain, by feeling the pain, so they discover what was the product that they needed to do.
Wow.
Whoa, I didn't knew that story. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny to see the pictures of, because one day it's not like walking like n kilometers, but it was snowing, it was raining. In one TV, the connectivity was not working. So it's really cool to listen to the story from Alex, from the CEO of Balena, where he explains all the pains that he felt, coding some bugs in the McDonald's with the McDonald's Wi-Fi and things like that. Yeah, you can imagine. I mean, if you do hardware, you always use tons of duct tape, with
that's right.
You also need some
Okay.
something like that.
There is like one or two myths about like IoT companies that you would like to clear up.
That's a good one. Actually, I'm doing a weekly IoT podcast with some friends. IoT Coffee Talk is called on YouTube, and we always talk about this. From my point of view, what the lessons learned that I got is that with IoT, you only have two ways to succeed. You have to help companies to save money, or you have to help companies to make money. If your IoT product doesn't make that happen, it's very hard that you succeed. Mm-hmm. So it's like helping companies to make money or save money. It's what will make you to succeed on IoT. So really make your homework and make like a clear business model. And when you go to sell, show that the company is going to save that amount of money or make that amount of money because you help them to make a new business model and so on. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the lessons learned that I learned on the hard way with the theThingsIO. I don't know if you agree or not.
No, I'm totally agree.
Yeah, it has to be.
Definitely.
I think it's what you do with WizBlocks, right? So you help companies to reduce time of making hardware, producing hardware, and then giving the tools actually to save time, save money, get into the market quicker, right?
And reduce risk as well, so you don't risk having a faulty product in the market, which is can be the death of the company, really. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. This week I was speaking with a company that is producing now some products in China, and the guy was super stressed, like, we cannot fly to China, so how can I how can I test the hardware and so on? So you need to have a reliable partner now if you want to make hardware.
It's good to have a team there. Yes, very good.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's sometimes, I mean, in another time, maybe it's easier, like 2 years ago, maybe it was easier to take a plane and enjoy Shenzhen lifetime, right? Or night.
You could go there for like in 2 days, be there and then fix anything. But now, you've got to rely on people there, so it's very difficult. But RAK has that, so we have our hardware team. I talk with them almost every day now because we're deep into production now, so it's really good to have them. But by the way, Marc, you weren't just a Balena developer. I've met you through Sigfox Ambassadors first.
Exactly.
I mean, you started IoT Barcelona as well. You run the IoT Stars, which is part of Mobile World Congress as well. Can you tell us more about that side of things? How you deal with communities?
Exactly. That's a very good question. So I always wanted to help communities and developers, to learn about new stuff, etc. So this is why I created the IoT Munich and the IoT Barcelona more or less at the same time. I think it was 2009, and the IoT Barcelona get very successful because there are a lot of developers in Barcelona, and one of the events that I made in Barcelona, I invited a guy from a startup called Sigfox he contacted me, I think on LinkedIn or on Twitter. And he just flew from Toulouse to Barcelona with 2 planes and so on. So he was speaking about a low power wide area network, something in 2009. So nobody understood anything. I have to say that the slides were hard to understand. But he brought me an Arduino. I don't remember which one. It was made by a French company.
With the 3 tracks, chill.
I don't know. I have it on a box, but it was like a black shield with a guy with glasses.
Okay.
Well, whatever. And
Keru board, I think.
Try that. There is one base station in Barcelona, so you will have coverage next year. Like, okay, whatever. But then, I started using that, and it worked really well. And then, with the theThingsIO, we made an integration with Sigfox. And then they invite me to become Sigfox ambassador, and it was really cool. So I had the chance to meet you, and other Sigfox ambassadors who are really cool, and get and knew more about other technologies such as LoRa and so on. So it has been a pretty awesome experience to be part of the Sigfox ecosystem. I don't know if we can talk about Sigfox more than 60 seconds in this. No, RAK makes Sigfox devices, right? Or not?
It will, yeah. We'll have something about that.
Okay.
This month.
All right. Don't want to disclose anything. Sorry.
No problem. What about IoT Stars? I mean,
Sure.
What's about that?
So Mobile World Congress, I remember I made an IoT Barcelona meetup the day before the Mobile World Congress on Sunday. And it was a free event, and 2,000 people registered. So it was like crazy, like, wow, 2,000 people. Where can I fit 2,000 people? I cannot rent the Barcelona stadium or something like that. So so I also made another event with a friend with super expensive tickets, and we filled like 200 seats. And then I decided okay, maybe it's good for the next year to create an IoT event where Mobile World Congress, it's so mobile industry is really big. It goes from the cell towers manufacturer to mobile developers,
cloud,
clouds and so on. So I decided, let's make a party on the first night where we can meet up all the IoT people. And actually, the first editions was more about getting IoT startups on pitching there in front of the audience and jury, and it was pretty cool. And then we pivoted a bit to more fireside talks and less startups because startups sometimes if you have a lot, sometimes the quality of the pitches are different. But it has been a really good experience, except last year that the Mobile World Congress was canceled last minute, and then we couldn't make the IoT Stars happen. But we are thinking on doing like a virtual one. So Mobile World Congress, it was usually was being scheduled by end of February, beginning of March. In theory, Mobile World Congress 2021 was scheduled for 1st of March that week till 4th of March. So the plan is to do an IoT Stars 1st of March virtual one, and then Mobile World Congress has been rescheduled to June 2021. So let's see if we can do if there is vaccine or something like that, or I don't know how the pandemic will become on 2021 in spring or summer. But let's see if we can do like a physical one or not. But that's the idea of the IoT Stars, to try to meet up again all the IoT community coming to the Mobile World Congress, or that used to come to the Mobile World Congress and meet up and have fun and get what's new on the market.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I want to go there next year. Then let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Me too, me too. And do you consider that your involvement in this kind of community environment, such as like you create an IoT Star event, also you are an entrepreneur who build your own IoT startup, and also you are a organizer of IoT Meetup Barcelona. So you think this your involvement in this environment has impacted your career?
Uh, yes, actually, yes, of course. I'm developer advocate probably because of all of this now. But yeah, sure. I mean, but on the other hand, it's really hard to keep. So I'm really jealous of people who are doing IoT meetups every month because I don't have the time to focus on. Okay, let's schedule like. Meetups every month.
It's not just a schedule; it's like trying to find the people who is going to speak. You have to prepare everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the days only have 24 hours, so I need days of 32 hours or something. Probably Jose as well, no? You
Yeah,
evolve as
everyone.
well for
everyone.
But yeah, so actually I was preparing last month a meetup for November and I still haven't announced it. But yeah, I need to find like 10 minutes to focus on this and announce a newest meetup of the IoT Barcelona. But yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think I love to get in contact with developer communities and to build communities, and I think it's a way to go. I like this bottom-up relationship of the technology with people, and I think it's really magic to see how you meet some people and you can build something up and show it to the people. I think this is something magic, for example, that happened with the CFOX ambassadors as well. That you meet some people with a lot of potential, and you bottom up create something magic, and I think that's really cool. And that's something magic about creating communities.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. And why Balena? Like, how did you start working with Balena? How was that connection? Like, you met them before, but why start working with them?
Yeah, at some point, sadly, I saw that theThingsIO was not working, so I sold the company to another company who could make it run financially in a better position than we were. And then I started to search for other IoT companies who could be fun to work with. And one of the startups was Balena. So I was as I told you before, I was following them since a long time. I always loved their website and so on. So I saw that there were some job positions open, and I applied. I applied as a business developer, but after an interview, they asked me if I would like to become the European developer advocate. And after some more interviews, I became the developer advocate based in. So we have one, David, who's based in Arizona in the US, and me based in Barcelona. So we can cover kind of 24 hours of events and so on. So yeah, this is the story. And and I love the job. I mean, the goal of the developer advocates at Balena is to bring technology to developers and get the feedback from these developers to the engineering team and say, hey, look what this community say, they would like to have this and that, and get back these, the answer from our engineers to the community. We call it loops, so it's a special culture as well on Balena, so it's really cool.
Super nice. And also you are super active every week on the happy hour. Actually, you just run one happy hour. So everyone who is connected here, keep in mind that every Friday as well, right?
4
They
p.m. UTC, yeah.
4 p.m. UTC, they run an IoT happy hour if you want to learn more about all the coolest stuff they are doing, which are pretty interesting as well.
Exactly. Today we burned some Balena fins, actually, that we were measuring consumption of the, So we got a project where we wanted to connect a device. Well, I don't know if you have seen the blog of Balena, but there is a LoRa device with solar panels. So we decided, okay, so let's connect, this is a Balena fin. So let's connect the Balena fin with a solar panel. So and so David actually lives in a desert, so he lives in Arizona. So he said, yeah, we can make an IoT happy hour when I go with my bike to the desert, and when I find a cactus, I will leave a Balena fin with a solar panel and a battery, and I go back home, and we see the data, being sent.
Awesome.
And I said, wait, hold on, maybe let's make a calculation. Let's not make that assumption that this will work. Let's make a calculation of the power consumption of a Balena fin. With cellular, in this case, I have an NPCIe with a u-blox modem. But let's make some calculations. Let's learn about the mathematics behind that and the electricity and so on before having you riding your bike, in the desert to find cactus to leave the fin there. So we are having a lot of fun. Last week was about Halloween hacks. So we have 3 different developers, one from the community actually hacking eyes for Halloween. Wow. So different type of eyes, Like one was developing eyes that inside a pumpkin that were following you with artificial intelligence. Okay. And another, we had 3 different types of eye projects for Halloween. So we have fun.
Very cool.
Super nice.
Very cool.
And I have a visitor.
Hello.
I have a visitor around here as well.
Yes, say hello.
She's your helper.
Yeah, she's my daughter. I'm also trying to get involved on the education, on the STEAM projects and so on. To try to bring more girls. It's good to have Maria. It's hard to see women on technology. So
we're working on that. We have to put that gap. Is like bring more women in STEM areas, which is super important. So
Sorry, give me a sec. Sorry.
Oh no. Well, for at least my supervisor doesn't talk, so which is a cat.
Oh, your cat doesn't talk. I mean, mine.
But it can stop at any point the stream, right? The cat if it walks on the wrong button.
Has all the power.
Exactly.
Okay. And what about RAKwireless? Like, where did you hear about us?
So actually, I think I joined Balena at the same time that Jose joined RAK, if I'm not wrong. So
we were talking about it. Yeah, we were talking about it. Like,
exactly.
I'm going to go. Oh, and you're going to go as well.
It was at the same time.
Papa, ¿quieres cambiar yo?
Molt bé. Ves amb la mamà, amor?
No.
I will have a visitor.
We can do it in Spanish. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, we were speaking in Catalan, but we can switch to Spanish. But
sorry.
We were. So it was serendipity, I would say. At the same moment, we were joining new companies, and actually, you were telling me more about let's try to do these LoRa gateways with basic station. That it's something new. Yeah. Actually, at Balena, we have done a lot of versions of LoRa gateways with Balena.
Yeah, I used it initially. My first gateway was on Balena, actually, on the TTN network. Yeah, that was my first deployment.
So actually, with our mission now to help to simplify the creation of fleets of devices, what I understood. I never I used the TTN Kickstarter gateway, right? From TTN, but what I understood is that usually the gateway owners, they have a fleet of devices because they have a lot of some of the gateway people have a lot of devices. So how do they access to the devices that are most of the times on remote places, right? They don't have SSH, or if you have to update a software package and so on, it's sometimes hard. So this was a really cool project that we built, and maybe we can demo in some minutes, where we actually can help in a really easy way to hotspot or gateway owners to manage all their fleet in a really easy way.
Now that you say like a pretty easy way, like let's just make this last question and we go with the demo. Like, as you may know, IoT made easy is the motto at RAKwireless.
Okay.
And yeah, however, like making IoT easy from a hardware, like from a hardware layer to the application layer may not be like a very easy thing to do sometimes. So when you have this phrase in mind, like make IoT easy, what association comes to your mind? Like what potential problems and solution do you envision in this?
Yeah, so IoT, it's one of the most complex technology systems probably till today, where you have you can go from the chip definition to the mobile application. So you have a lot of layers. You have all the hardware layer that it's super complex and can get today at the IoT Happy Hour we were talking about FPGAs that I still don't understand what does it mean, but you can go to that complexity, to the communications, to the security on hardware on communications, but to the cloud, to APIs, to mobile applications, and so on and so on. So you have a lot of layers. So yeah, what it's good, it's if a company tries to simplify at least one of these layers, that's really important, because that can enhance companies or people to get to get easier something done. So that's for me the most important. So we said, actually what we said is we try to reduce friction of people or companies who are managing a fleet of devices. So this friction reduce.
Definitely. That is why companies like us are like in the market as well, to make the things easier for everyone out there who wants to start deploying IoT applications from the hardware layer to the application layer as well.
Yeah, actually, when Jose told me, let's do this LoRa Basic Station with Balena, so I was testing the Raspbian version, and it was like, what the fuck? So it took like a couple of hours to make a TTN, I don't know. Maybe it took too long for me. I don't know, but
compiling things, it's a lot of effort.
Exactly, and just all the time with fingers crossed that everything works well.
Yeah, so and then they change the version and it all goes away. It's like, forget it.
Exactly. So at Balena, what we do, it's really simple. So we help companies to run on 21st century technologies. So the software runs on containers. So we have a Linux operating system that runs containers, like Docker containers. And all the applications that run on devices that run Balena OS are containers. So we simplify these. We bring this 21st century technology to IoT developers that are making technology or are making software today. Like, hey, use containers. That will simplify your life. That will simplify the life cycle, the continuous integration, and so on of your devices. And if you have these containers, like with one click, you can have everything up and running almost on these TTN LoRa gateways. But that was like the game changer. Like, okay, stop doing all the Raspbian thing. Just go and actually you had this experience, right, Maria? It's like in one click. Gone.
I tested this last week that when I got my RAK concentrator, and it was like in less than 10 minutes, everything was up and running. So it was amazing. So
exactly.
that is why I want to just show you as well.
And we love open source. So we do have the Balena Cloud actually, here. That it's you have to pay, but you can connect up to 10 gateways, for example, for free. So so the free tier, it's very generous. But there is as well the Open Balena, that it's actually the Balena Cloud, but open source, so that you can take it and use it. There is no dashboard, but you can build it, or you can do it yourself. But you can do actually the same. You can manage your fleet from Open Balena very easily. Balena OS, it's open source, and actually, if you build something with Balena, you are containerizing your software. So that means that it will run in any operating system. So we don't have any lock-in strategy to keep you, like attached into our technology. We are helping you to have like your application on containers. If you don't like Balena or whatever happens, or maybe the business model doesn't make sense because it's too expensive or whatever, you can jump into another operating system if that's what you want to do, with the same application with minimal changes, like the Docker file templates, and that's all.
Yep, cool.
So that's something that I really like as well from Balena, but it's not like a super lock-in company at all. And there are a lot of open source projects, and most of the technology is open source.
Yep. And you also have Balena Etcher, which is the most popular program in the world, isn't it? Everyone uses
exactly.
it. And you
Actually,
just give it away for free. It's open source.
Yeah, and it's open source as well. So actually, usually when I start my slides presentation as developer advocate is, okay, maybe you don't know Balena, but who used this software? No, and I put like a
everyone
screenshot of Balena Etcher, like, and everyone is like, yeah, I just used it 10 minutes ago. What the hell? This is yours? Like, okay, so if you use Balena Etcher, you know how we like to do things. So we like to simplify life of people.
Of course.
So
good stuff.
So that's what we do. So for people who don't know what's Balena Etcher, it's a software to flash SD cards or USB sticks, and like in a super simple way.
Simple way. Yeah. So you are going to see
a lot of topics. Easy, simple.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we can move forward to our demo. So yes.
So did you pray to the demo gods first?
We don't need that.
We don't need that.
It's how everything works in our live demo. So who wants to share their screen? Should I share my screen during setup?
Sure, or if you want, you can share your screen. Yeah, and maybe that's simple.
Okay, perfect.
Or what up to you.
Let me share here.
Do you want to do like a live deploy of with? So first of all, maybe so if you want to zoom on my image, So maybe let's make an intro of what I'm going to show.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to click on me. There is on the top. But yeah, that's okay. So this is a Balena Fin here. Okay, what's a Balena Fin actually? So with the experience that we had with our customers, most of the customers start doing POCs with Raspberry Pis. That's a really cool tool. But we discovered that, sometimes Raspberry Pi it's not very reliable on production. Basically for three reasons, mainly these three reasons. But there are others. Like one, it's the SD card. It's very complicated. Yeah, most of the SD cards die, or the SD card holder have problems, etc. Second, electricity problems. And third, it's another thing, electricity problems, and then as well the plug of the Raspberry Pi, it's USB, so it doesn't give like other alternatives to companies. So with all these lessons learned, Balena decided to make a hardware to help companies to easily scale up into production, as you do, with RAK, with the WizBlocks, for example, and other products. So we made this Linux device that it's called Balena Fin, but actually it's a Raspberry Pi 3. So it runs with a compute module. This is a compute module 3. Now, maybe if you follow the news, there is a compute module 4. We are building the Balena Fin 2.0 with the compute module 4 right now. And actually, if you go to the forums.balena.io, you will find a thread there on the forums where the customers or developers are suggesting new features for the Balena Fin 2.0. So if you are a user of the Balena Fin or you need a product like that, so go to the forums and suggest, hey, I would like to have that those pins exposed or that interface exposed or something like that, if that's something that it's interesting for you. But one magic thing as well about the Balena Fin, it's this thing here. This is a coprocessor. It's a Cortex M3 coprocessor that can sleep the compute module. So the compute module, it runs at 200 milliamps usually per second, but the compute module can run at 2 milliamps. So there are actions where sometimes you are collecting data, and this is the GPIO just for so this is like the Raspberry Pi GPIO, but there is a special GPIO just for the coprocessor and real-time clock as well here. so there are some occasions where you don't need to go full power with a compute module. No, in the middle of the field, you just need to send data when something happens or when you reach a specific temperature, and so on. So you can sleep the compute module with a coprocessor and get into very low power with a compute module with a coprocessor. Sorry. To save battery and so on. So this is why we wanted to leave this on a Cactus sleeping or not. So having said that, well, actually, yeah, and it has an MPCIe here behind as well. But here I have a U-Blocks modem, sorry. But actually, what I have here, it's like a Balena Fit. This is the 1.0. The other one was the 1.1. And this one has, the compute module 3. So it's kind of a Raspberry Pi 3. With a RAK 2287, that it's the newest RAK concentrator, if I'm not wrong, connected here. So in a click or two, you can have a basic station LoRa gateway up and running. And actually, it was this week, right, that the Things Industries announced that the basic station as a standard on the
standard support, with the new stack. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that that the basic station will become something interesting. The packet forwarder. It's a basic station. So
it is more secure. Can I just ask? So you can sleep the concentrator with that coprocessor, right? So you can sleep the gateway. Okay, that's really cool. It would be
exactly
interesting application.
Exactly. So you can have like a sensor sensing something, and when you get the data, you just wake up the compute module and the concentrator and send the data and sleep again.
Yeah, so if you have a farm, like you just send data at night time, like you could just wake it up at night and something like that. So yeah, that's really cool.
Super.
Great to see that working. We should make that work next time.
Yeah, well, as a gateway, it's tricky actually because the gateways should be listening all the time, right? So
if you know sensors only send at night, for example, it's a good application. And
that's a good one, yeah. So you can wake up the compute module. So you have you get the messages through the concentrator, and then you send through Wi-Fi or Ethernet or whatever, or cellular. Yeah. That's a very cool idea because you can go very low power. And have like a gateway in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. We have to test that.
Yeah.
Yes, we should. Okay.
So yeah, I have here with me a Raspberry Pi 3 as well. Let me change my screen with a RAK concentrator with a 2245, which is an older one. So I am going to make the deployment on this one, and Jose, which is the one that you're going to use.
Oh, let's see.
Which
one should I use? I've got two.
The one that you prefer.
I'll go for the 2287 then, the new one.
Okay, perfect. So
actually we made maybe I can also share my screen and you just play with the screens and so on, if that's okay for you.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to start adding.
I leave you on the backstage my screen. So actually, if you there is a GitHub.
I'm going to start creating like my device. Here's like the application. Well, you can introduce a little bit us about like this application. What did you do?
Yeah, sure. Maybe you can show the GitHub if you share my screen. Maybe I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if you go to github.com Balena Labs basic station, there is here the code. So actually this is comparable, and this is the nice thing that I have the 2287, Jose will have the 2287, and Maria the 2245. So this is compatible with both. You're going to see how does it work. And actually clicking just deploy with Balena, this, of course, you need a Balena Cloud account, that it's free, but it asks you to create a new application or to use an existing application. Okay, so actually, you can share your screen if you want now, Maria. But I wanted to explain the account. Then then for Balena Cloud, actually how it works, Balena, you create an application and your fleet of devices will belong to that application. That means that all of the devices that belong to an application share the same software. But this can change. So Balena automatize if, for example, I'm running the Balena Fin that it's with a compute module with 32 bits. So the operating system, the Balena OS running here, it's 32 bits. I don't know, Maria, if you have a Balena, Raspberry Pi 3 with 64 bits. But it's Balena OS supports Raspberry Pi 3, not Balena Fin, in 64 bits. So actually, you can have. So I don't know, Jose, if you will have a Raspberry Pi 4 or not, but you can have even a Raspberry Pi 4 running a 64-bit. But because the software it's on a containers of 32 bits, it will run as well on a 64-bit OS. Okay. So here, when you say add a new device, you just say, okay, I have a Raspberry Pi 3. Because it's 32 bits, appear all the compatible devices with that device type that can run 32 bits container. Then you have to introduce your credentials, or if it's Ethernet or Wi-Fi plus Ethernet. So you introduce here your credentials, and here you will download an image of Balena OS. So that Balena OS will be the operating system that will run on your Raspberry Pi or your or Balena Fin or whatever you have. And actually, when you will, you will need to store it or to flash an SD card with Balena Etcher. Cool. And then when it will power up first time, the operating system will create a container with a supervisor. We call it supervisor that will ask to Balena Cloud API, hey, is there any software that I need to download? And Balena Cloud will tell to the supervisor, yes, there is these containers, the basic station, whatever containers. The supervisor will download them and will launch them. And the supervisor will take care to have a VPN connection between the device and the console or SSH from your device or the dashboard from Balena Cloud. So you always have an SSH interaction with the container or with the operating system of the device. So that's in a really quickly way.
I upload the image. I select the SD card that I want to flash and press plus. Password, enter, and just wait.
So yeah, so we are flashing.
Here you guys see how easy it is to flash an SD card with Balena Etcher. It's super easy.
Best app ever.
Yeah, Balena Etcher rules. There is a comment from Oscar saying, please tutorial with chirp stack. Actually, in the forums of Balena, there is a user. I don't know if it's Ronnie. I saw Ronnie making a comment. I don't know if it was Ronnie or someone else who was working on a chirp stack example. But feel free to. I think it's compatible. I'm not 100%. I haven't tested that yet. But feel free to get into the GitHub, get the code, and make a pull request with the chirp stack system. So we would love to have contributions from the community.
Definitely, that is why we make the things open source.
Exactly. So what SD card do you have? It's very slow, Maria.
I used the 8 gigabytes one, right? Yeah, in that I forget the characteristics of that one.
No problem.
So what are we running now? It will be the one container just with the packet forwarder?
Yeah,
the basic
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So the code of this system, it's just one container. You can run multi-containers on Balena. Actually, one thing that I want to do is to introduce another container that it's called Wi-Fi Connect. That what it does, if it doesn't detect the Wi-Fi that you created here when you introduce your Wi-Fi credentials, as we see now on the Maria screen, if it doesn't detect this Wi-Fi SSID, it just become a Wi-Fi hotspot. So with your mobile phone, it appears like a portal, and you introduce any Wi-Fi. So that's something that happens usually. At least it happened to me with LoRa gateways that you set up a LoRa gateway on your office, and then you go to install it on an office from a friend or something like that. And the Wi-Fi is different, and you didn't know in advance the Wi-Fi credentials to connect the hotspot.
Yeah.
So I want to do it to make a newest version with the Wi-Fi Connect at least, to have this possibility to change the Wi-Fi's in a really easy way for the device.
Right. Yeah, that would be super cool.
Yeah.
I already connect the Raspberry Pi to the power outlet.
Okay.
So
Did you pray the God of the demos? Or no?
Let's see. I hope the Wi-Fi credential.
It should appear. You don't need to refresh the website.
It will work.
Are you doing that in parallel as well, Jose? Or
No.
Hey, it was making together.
Oh God!
But actually, with Jose, we do it a couple of times, right? Or 3 times.
Yeah,
already
we
live
did some
on
demo
presentations like some month ago. Actually, Jose was on the IoT Happy Hour, and that was.
So what's the best idea? Is it that Maria shares the application with me, invites me to that, or something else?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You didn't send me your.
The thing is that you didn't send.
I can invite you. Sorry, no, Maria cannot invite you. So.
Oh.
Actually, what's your name? It's Jose.
Jose _Marcelino.
Oh, it's not connected.
It's not connecting.
It's not connecting.
Is your Wi-Fi credentials or?
No, I can let me plug, but no, I don't want to unplug my Ethernet cable because I don't want to have issues with the streaming. For being honest, okay, yeah, it's up here.
Of course. Oh,
wow, yeah.
Okay, here
you
we
have
have.
to play the demo. The demo.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Amazing.
Always.
Is this?
If you click on your device on how is it called, Dry Mountain? So right now, if you see the logs, the supervisor started, and then check that there was an image released on the builders. So actually, what happens here is that when I created the application, I said, okay, I made a Balena push, or the deploy with Balena. I mentioned that all the code is on this GitHub account. So what Balena makes, it gets the code from this GitHub repo. And there are some builders on the Balena cloud that builds these images of the containers and stores them until someone requests them. Okay, so now the supervisor detected that. So the supervisor say hello, and the Balena cloud said, hey, there is an image that you have to download. And now it's downloading the image. I think your SD card is super slow.
Yeah, it's super slow.
It should be okay.
I think, Jose, are you also doing it or not?
Who will be first?
Yeah.
I've not.
No.
Have you invited me, Mark?
Yes. If you check my screen, I invited Jose _Marcelino.
Yeah, here.
Okay.
So it's really easy. So if you want, for example, if you want to make you have some friends on your TTN community, so everyone has a gateway at home or wherever, and you want to create this fleet of devices managed by one unique instance. So what you can do is this: you create a Balena Cloud account, and then people can invite all their friends or whatever, or colleagues from TTN or whatever LoRa technology, and all of them will share the same software application.
Okay.
Okay. 65%.
Yes.
One thing that we are going to see when you get into the 100%, Maria, it's that if you go back to the Balena Cloud, we are going to see, you see the tags thing, that it says no tags configured yet.
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes well, what we are going to see there is the EUI of your gateway. Okay, when you have to register your gateway on TTN, because we're using basic stations, TTN will require to have the 8 bytes of the EUI of your gateway. So just to simplify that, because, well, it's a MAC address of 6 bytes amplified to 8. But just to simplify that, we put it on the tags, and just double-clicking there, you just copy the EUI, and then you can go to the TTN to register the gateway automatically.
Yep.
Okay, so the dry mountain. It's almost there.
It's almost there. 99. If everything goes well, we are going to see the UI in the tags in a couple of seconds.
Then you
Yeah, we
Yes,
have
it
it. It's
starts.
loading.
It's downloading
Then you
everything.
can have the logs.
And yeah,
Here we have it.
and we have it. So if you click here, I do a little trick because it copies as well EUI, the name of the
Yeah.
tag. So go to the nodes. I usually go to the nodes, and I
To the
paste it
nodes.
there. Yeah,
Here?
below the tags. No, below the tags. Yeah, here.
Okay. Nodes. Uh-huh.
Just paste it here.
And then
And
just
just copy just the UI. Yeah,
Okay.
because
nice trick. So,
yeah.
I
After doing this 100 times, yeah.
After that, update a couple of things here in the variable, right?
Exactly, yeah. So this is what I said at the beginning, that it's compatible with model 2245 and 2287. So by default, this is by default it's set up with 2245. But actually, because I made it for my device, I set it up with 2287 as default. So you have to change it here.
Yeah.
So we are doing a trick. So we are actually launching both versions for 2245 and for 2287. And at the end, we decide, depending on the variable on Balena, which one we will launch. So probably there is an error or something because you were launching the SX 1302. And the other thing that you need to change, it's the endpoint for the basic station for TTN, because it's set up as default in Europe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you you change it. Cool. Yeah.
I already changed.
The other thing that you will need to change then it's the gateway ID and the gateway key that TTN will give you once the gateway is registered.
Yeah. So let's enter to the gateway section. I'm going to deploy here.
Yeah. Well, you have to say that it's legacy forwarder.
Forwarder. Sorry.
for
here.
now, yeah.
No, click first on. I'm using the legacy packet forwarder.
And then yeah.
Yeah, this is hopefully this will be solved soon. Actually, there is Jose. No, you explain it to me. No, that there is a hack made by TTN. That
yes, basic station is being converted to normal, the old protocol internally within TTN, but on the new stack this will be native, so you don't need to replace it.
Oh, I already have it here. Yeah.
yeah, and it's connected, by the way.
It's already connected. Yeah.
So just copy the gateway ID and the gateway key and leave it on the cloud.
Yeah.
So usually what I discover is that TTN provisions automatically the gateway, so it works. But yeah, if you want to have it running properly, you need to do this.
Replace the keys. And here we have it.
And then if you have a WISBlock sending data, we should see it sending data or the data received on the TTN or the application. So usually when you change a variable, it restarts automatically. So you don't need to do anything.
Let me check if the WISBlock is running, not running. No, because we have to. Let me check this here. But where we can see like the fleet of the gateways like deployed.
Yeah, so click back, or click TTN, this one.
Fleet?
So we see that we have one in Barcelona and the Dry Mountain. If you click location on the bottom, below members.
Locations.
Yeah. So we see two, the mine in Barcelona, one in Colombia. And if Jose is...
mine's coming online now.
Okay, so we will see three. So this is a really simple way to...
Here the Jose gateway.
Exactly. We will see it in a bit. So it's a really simple way, to manage like a fleet of gateways in just one click, and actually have them updated in a really simple way, all together at the same time. Well, actually, you can pin to release specific devices if you don't want to change a version of some of them. And then we will have I don't know if you have a Pi 3 or Pi 4, Jose?
Pi 4.
Yeah, Pi 4.
So we will have a fin, a Pi 3 and a Pi 4 running the same software that can be updated at the same time. Yeah, we see now, Jose.
Yeah.
Device. And if you go to location, maybe we will see.
But he's inactive.
Well, yeah. Now the supervisor, it's
location.
starting. But yeah,
And
boom, magic.
amazing. Super cool.
So that's yeah.
Global.
That's
Speed
what
of
we call the
activities.
simplicity. This is what we like to see on our customers and developers, that in a really simple way you can manage your fleet of devices. And I think the fleet of gateways needs something like this, that in a really simple way you can access to them, and then you can access SSH to the devices and so on.
Super nice. Well, this is the demo that we had prepared for you guys. I hope you like it and enjoy it. And also, if you want to follow it, I'm going to share the link on the comments as well in the video of description, so you can go to the guide, follow all the steps. It's pretty simple as you just notice. So yeah, we have right now like the Q&A session. I don't know if anyone who is connected have any additional question about like the demo that we just made, or about the things that Mark shared us previously. If not, I
I
can
talk a
jump
lot.
with you talk a lot. No, no. We have previous solved that it was more longer. This was a different session, like a half interview, half demo, which is it's better, I think so, because we can show something like it's really working, and it's pretty nice.
No, absolutely. I really love to do these hands-on things, and and because it shows the value, I can show thousands of slides, but I think it's better that actually,
You
to force you
demonstrate.
to get an SD card and a Pi 4 and a concentrator connected, and making a
it's
LoRa
good.
gateway
And
from
it always
nothing.
works.
You know,
Always works, man. It never fails.
Actually, yeah, because Maria prayed the gods of the demos. So.
Actually, my first time didn't work, but yeah.
Yeah, no, actually,
No.
that's good that Maria found a bug.
Yeah,
So that's how community should work, no? So she reported the bug, and this is why this happens, because it's compatible with both, with 2245 and 2287. But when we boot for first time, we don't know if you have a 2245 or 2287. So we just run both versions of the software, and then when we the supervisor decides which one will be the version that will run on the container, even it has both executed or launched. So actually, there was I forgot to introduce a setup GMK file, the 228045 for Raspberry Pi 3.
Okay.
So this is why it failed, and it worked on my thing with 2287, but didn't with 2245.
Yeah, I was like deploying it the first time, and I was like, okay, this is going to be super easy, and then was like, okay, what happened? And then it was starting to connect. It was okay. The nodes are not sending data. What is happening? Then I went to the releases, and I found that it was like, okay, this is the issue. Why I am not getting the node.
But actually, Ronnie, I think he's on the audience. He helped a lot to do this version, to have these both compatible at the same time. So he helped a lot. So I really love when, it's what we talked before, when it's bottom up and community help, to make it happen. Or if there is another version of whatever, So feel free to make a PR or to fork these. So I would love to have these under the Semtech repo. So not Balena. It shouldn't be Balena, It should be TTN or Semtech or whoever who manage all the versions for all the operating systems, right? To simplify life. So people shouldn't go to Balena to install this.
Working.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Absolutely.
So to finish, like as a last question, like you as an IoT enthusiast and maker, I would like to know, what would you recommend as a new and trending technology to focus in order to stay relevant? What do you think is the make big impact in the future of IoT?
Wow, that's a very good question. I don't know. So whatever you are working, so if you are working towards a direction of helping people, sharing what you do, and doing as as better as you can. I think that's the way to go. So this reducing friction that we are saying on Balena. I mean, if you are doing for whatever tiny project on IoT that you are doing, that's the best that you can do. So I strongly recommend to go towards that direction. And I don't know. I don't know what's the next thing. I think we already talked about if we should talk about helium. Maybe we should do a part 2.
It's blockchains.
Exactly. But yeah, whatever you do, just do it this bottom up. Help people, share things, make PRs, introduce issues, be nice on forums, help other people. And whatever you do, it will be relevant if you do it that way.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing that. So yeah, I think this is the end of our session today. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, Mar, for joining us in the last minute and being here with
Thanks
us.
for inviting.
Also, thanks, Jose, for participating in a new session with me. And also for thanks to all of those who connect to the session and stay during the entire session here with us and enjoy the session like we do. So yeah, if you have any additional question in the future, for those who are watching this session in later, feel free to leave any question you may have in the comment section, and Mark, Jose, and I will be happy to answer later. So we hope to see you next time, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
See you next Friday on RAKStars.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.